California roll, invented in Los Angeles in the 1960s by Japanese chef Ichiro Mashita at the Tokyo Kaikon restaurant. Americans were hesitant about eating raw fish and found nori seaweed unappealing, so Mashita flipped the roll inside out, hiding the seaweed inside and putting rice on the outside. He replaced traditional tuna with imitation crab, added avocado for creaminess and cucumber for crunch. The roll was named California because avocados were abundant in the state, and it reflected the laid-back West Coast vibe. This single invention revolutionized sushi in America and made it accessible to mainstream diners. Today, it's the gateway roll that introduces millions of people to sushi. Some variations add tobiko, fish roe, on top, or use real crab instead of imitation. In Japan, this roll is called California maki and is considered a purely American invention. Spicy tuna roll, born from scraps and desperation in 1980s Los Angeles, sushi chefs had a problem. Leftover tuna chunks too ugly for elegant nigiri, but too expensive to throw away. Someone had a crazy idea. Chop it up, mix it with spicy mayo and chili oil, and stuff it in a roll. Purists were horrified. "You're destroying the fish," they said. But customers went insane for it. The creamy, spicy, chunky texture was addictive. What started as a way to hide imperfect fish became one of the most ordered rolls worldwide. The heat builds with every bite, and no two restaurants make it the same. High-end spots use premium bluefin belly with just a whisper of chili. Cheap places drown mediocre tuna in mayonnaise. In Tokyo, traditional sushi masters refused to make it for years, calling it American garbage. Now even they serve it. Money talks. Philadelphia roll. Cream cheese in sushi? Japanese chefs thought Americans had lost their minds. In the 1980s, some bold chefs in the US said screw tradition and combined smoked salmon with Philadelphia cream cheese. Japan didn't even use dairy in cuisine until Western influence arrived. This combination should not work. But it does. The richness of cream cheese perfectly balances the saltiness of smoked salmon. Sushi purists still hate it with a passion. "It's not sushi, it's a bagel," they cry. They're not entirely wrong. Smoked salmon and cream cheese is literally a bagel combination. But Americans don't care. The Philly roll became a breakfast and brunch staple. In Japan, this roll is displayed in restaurants as a curiosity, like a zoo animal. Look what the Americans did to our food. Yet slowly, quietly, even Japanese conveyor belt sushi chains have started offering it. Never underestimate cream cheese. Dragon roll, pure theater, pure Instagram bait. Created in the 1980s US, this roll was designed to make people gasp when it arrived at the table. Shrimp tempura or eel hidden inside, topped with avocado slices meticulously arranged to look like dragon scales. 2 dots of sriracha for eyes, drizzled with sweet eel sauce that glistens under restaurant lights. This isn't food, it's art. Chefs compete to make the most elaborate dragons. Some add gold flakes. Some make the dragon breathe fire with flaming alcohol. Traditional sushi is about simplicity and honoring the fish. The dragon roll says, "Forget that, let's make a spectacle." It's massive, containing enough rice for 10 pieces of nigiri. You can't eat it gracefully. It doesn't matter. People order it for photos first, eating second. In China and Korea, dragon rolls became status symbols at business dinners. The bigger and more elaborate, the more you respect your guests. Rainbow roll, the ultimate flex. A California roll topped with thin slices of tuna, salmon, yellowtail, and avocado arranged in a color gradient. It's a sushi sampler disguised as a single roll. Every bite hits different depending on which fish you land on. Created during the 1980s fusion boom, when American chefs realized they could stack anything on top of rice and people would pay premium prices. The visual appeal is the entire point. A rainbow of sashimi-grade fish arranged like a peacock's tail. Purists argue it's wasteful. Why mix flavors that should be appreciated separately? But Instagram doesn't care about purity. The rainbow roll photographs beautifully, and that's half the battle. Some restaurants add 6 or 7 fish types, though at that point you can't taste individual flavors anymore. It's become a test of knife skills. Can the chef slice each fish thin enough and arrange them perfectly? In Japan, they make rainbow rolls too, but smaller and more restrained, as if embarrassed by the American excess. Tempura roll, the ultimate middle finger to sushi tradition. Someone looked at sushi and said, "What if we just deep fried the whole thing?" Traditional chefs nearly had heart attacks. You're frying rice, you're destroying the fish with oil. But Americans who were terrified of raw fish finally had their gateway. The most common version uses shrimp tempura, but rebellious chefs started battering and frying entire California rolls and spicy tuna rolls. The technique has Portuguese roots. Tempura itself came from Portuguese missionaries in the 16th century, so there's historical precedent for frying in Japanese cuisine. Still, frying an entire roll was pure American chaos. The texture is incredible: crispy shell, warm, gooey inside, rice that's somehow still fluffy. But timing is everything. Wait 5 minutes and it turns into a soggy disaster. You must eat it immediately. Many traditional sushi restaurants refuse to make tempura rolls. They'd rather lose customers than their dignity. Volcano roll. Set it on fire and watch people pull out their phones. The volcano roll was invented in the 1990s by US chefs who realized they could bake sushi, a California roll base topped with a mixture of chopped scallops, crab, and spicy mayo, then baked until it bubbles and turns golden. Some chefs add cheese to make it extra gooey. Then comes the showmanship: sriracha drizzled down the sides like lava, or actual flames from a splash of alcohol igniting tableside. It's pure spectacle. Traditional sushi is served cold or room temperature. Baking it was heresy, but it worked because it introduced cooked sushi to Americans who refused raw fish. The warm, creamy topping against cool rice creates temperature contrast that's genuinely delicious. Japanese chefs watched in horror as this became popular. This isn't sushi, it's a casserole. Technically true, Americans didn't care. The volcano roll became a birthday party staple. Bring one out with flames and everyone cheers.